is it possible or likely that the spirit would be attacked or attempted to be forced from the body during physical sleep?
Firstly, I would question your vocabulary. Let me say that we have guardian angels, we have spirits who before birth will give us promise to help us through our lives. We sit down and we chat with them about what our tasks are going to be. I can actually remember when I did this, but everybody does it. Everybody decides with their spirit guides what their tasks are going to be in life. Shakespeare mentioned this. He said there are most people 7 times in their life when they come across these karmic tasks. Now, a spirit cannot force your spirit out of your body unless you leave the door unlocked. What I mean is, if you are into drugs or alcohol to excess, then you are vulnerable. Drink drivers are always a problem. They will have difficulties. Okay. So I would say enjoy your drink, enjoy your drugs, but don't lose control, because then you are vulnerable. There are various categories of spirit, mainly of the elemental category, but 1 or 2 others as well, who will look around for driverless bodies where the spirit has been pushed out through drugs, alcohol, and they will joyride it. Okay. Now, what I do want to say about this is care. Take care of yourself. Look after yourself. Make sure that your spirit is always in your body. A lot of the work that I've done over the past 50, 60 years has been through carelessness. People leaving their bodies unlocked. Now, there is another category, and this is schizophrenia. There are some people who are naturally vulnerable to being taken over. Their bodies are loose. When I say their bodies, I mean their emotional body, their intellectual body. There's a looseness there which creates gaps. Lobsang Rampa spoke about this at some depth in his books, and his advice is very valuable and echoes what I've just said.
Now, when I had this condition, I noticed that I could feel and notice and tell that the evil spirit that was plaguing me, it was making other people have a go at me and want to do certain things to me that were bad. Is that common, or did you experience anything like this?
Well, I want to tell you about Dr. Stephen Ward. He was the osteopath and occult healer involved in the big Christine Keeler scandal. He was an expert in the control of what's called elemental spirits. This is the very low, bad spirits. And because he could control them, he would project them at people. Now, in World War II, Winston Churchill, according to Dion Fortune and Dennis Wheatley and others, he would employ people to send these packs of elemental spirits over the channel to Hitler. Okay, now they are very easy to control, and if I was sent out on an exorcism and it was elementals, I was always pleased because they're simple, they're easy to round up and dispose of. Other categories of spirit who will often come in after the elementals are not so easy. Now, if you project bad thoughts to somebody, there's a ray that goes out to that person, and what will happen is that these elemental spirits will key into that, and they can often come along and join in. They're very low intelligence, basic spirits, elementals, and Aleister Crowley used them a lot. Now, they will come. When I used to teach auric healing at the Greywood Natural Health Clinic, I would teach you how to clean your auric sheath, where people who send you bad intentions, bad vibes, bad wishes, that will stick in that like an arrowhead, and that will fester. And some people, months afterwards, they're still dealing with it because they don't know how to clean the auric sheath and get rid of it. Those bad wishes that stuck with them.
So, while I had this condition, this is before it got really bad.
Yeah.
This would have been, I think, around the time of when I started to go missing sometimes. And
Yep.
one of the type of attacks that it used on me
Yeah.
was it would pick a song from my memory
Yeah.
and it would play it over and over, non-stop.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember even where I was when it started doing this.
Yeah.
I was walking around to see some people and it just kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had the first 2 hours into it playing the same song,
Yeah. Yeah.
right, non-stop in my head. About 2 hours into it, I thought, is that the best you can do? You know. I sort of said, yeah, I'll take it and run a mile, sort of thing, you know. As if, you know, sticking two fingers up at it, so to speak. But the thing is, after about 2 weeks, that really does your blooming head in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just over 2 weeks of that. You know, have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But what the Americans did to all the prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, they would play music in one ear and different music in another ear, and that splits the mind. That causes mental breakdowns. It's a horrible torture. But anyone who sees that person afterwards, it's a torture that doesn't show. You torture a man's body, and he has evidence, but you do that to him 24 hours a day, blaring music in both ears that is different. That is horrible. The other thing that they did, which they would take these prisoners. They'd often pick Iraqi men off the street to bolster their numbers of people they needed to torture. And what they would do, when a woman was menstruating, they would hold the menstruated cloth up to their face so that they would breathe that in. This would go to the oldest part of the brain, hippocampus, and these spirits that prey on blood would then grip that man's mind and break it in horror. But the easiest way to tell if you believe you are possessed is intrusive thoughts. You'll suddenly get a thought come in that is totally different from what you were thinking, and it might tell you to harm somebody or steal something or whatever. And when you get these, that's a time then to do some mental clearing, prayer, meditation, whatever, you know. That's important. Yeah.
You said mental clearing.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like emptying your mind of things.
It's more than that. What it is, okay, is you lay down, you relax. You say a short prayer there to protect you, and you concentrate on your breathing, and it's a mantra. You say to yourself 3 or 4 times, I want none of this crap. I want full possession of my faculties back. One of the problems is when you take drugs, okay, they form new neural pathways in the brain. When I was a college counsellor, nearly all the kids would experiment with cannabis, provided it was a little bit, you know, I didn't mind, but if it can be an everyday controlling thing, then I'd have to pull them in and give them a talking to.